Hello, everyone. How is it going? It is yours truly. I haven't done a tech nerd video. I have another one that I'm going to be doing later on, but I want to talk about VR, virtual reality, and just, I guess, a review of the Oculus Rift headset and just my experience in VR in general. I'm just going to go ahead and not bury the lead here, and I just want to say VR is here to stay. It is fantastic. It is awesome. As I am making this video, just a few days ago, Half-Life Alyx was released. It is another addition to the Half-Life video game family. Half-Life Alyx, I think, predates, in terms of timeline, predates the original Half-Life games. And I guess it's like a prequel to Half-Life 2 and so on and so forth. So it's been overwhelmingly praised for the most part, considering the bar to entry is pretty high. You need to buy one of these. This is a VR headset. This is the Oculus Rift S. I love this one the most. I chose the Rift S for quite a few reasons. One, it was the most economically sound, so if I were to not enjoy VR, it only would have cost a few $100s as opposed to like $1,000 for the Index, or maybe $700-800 for the HTC Vive Pro or Vive Pro, whatever it's called. And for whatever reason, the development teams or the amount of people developing software for the Oculus Rift seems to be a lot higher than the other VR headsets. So that's another one of the reasons why I ended up going with this. There's a lot of backing behind the Oculus Rift S, or the Oculus VR headsets in general. There's going to be another one being released, I think, later on this year or next year. So I think that's great. I went into this as a hater, sort of. Well, not a hater, but like a VR skeptic. I was very skeptical of VR. I thought it was really gimmicky, and I hate gimmicks. I'm not about that gimmick life. It's largely why 3D 3D monitors failed, 3D technology failed. It failed in the theaters, and it failed in the video game realm. It was just not good. It was a gimmick. It didn't enhance or elevate the gaming experience, the viewing experience, if you will. And VR, in my opinion, initially was going to do the same thing. It was just way too fucking expensive. There weren't enough games for it. So again, I wasn't going to knock the companies that were trying to do anything about VR. I was just going to sit it out. I'm going to sit it out. I want nothing to do with it. And that was going to be it. Well, we're at a point. I ended up buying this late last year, I think around October or November-ish, early November. I can't recall. And I bought it, and I just could not stop playing with it. The Oculus Rift S is fantastic. And the way that this works, there's a bunch of little cameras around the headset. And of course, it straps onto your head. It's easily adjustable. Now, you're probably wondering, what if you wear glasses? Do you need glasses? It's highly searched on Google. Well, I have Dolce & Gabbana glasses, and I also have these Ray-Ban glasses right here. And they work just fine. And there's no scratching on the lenses on this or that. Just don't thrash around and be all violent and retarded. And don't use the VR headset the way that it wasn't intended to be used. And you're not going to have a problem. So, again, let me go ahead and pop this up again. So if you have glasses that are around this size, you're going to be just fine. So Dolce & Gabbana makes a lot of really good ones. The Ray-Ban makes a ton of these types of glasses, these really small form factor glasses. The Gunnar glasses, the gamer with a hard R, those types of glasses will fit just fine inside the VR headset, at least for the Oculus Rift S. I can't attest for the other VR headsets, but the Oculus Rift S for sure. It's been fantastic. It was incredibly easy to set up. However, there is one issue that there's some things that I want people to keep in mind. First off, wherever you're going to be VR gaming, wherever the VR gaming is going to take place, you are going to need good lighting. Behind me are the controllers here. Now, there's these little sensors throughout this circle part of these controllers, and it absorbs the light. It utilizes the light to kind of track your motions, and also the cameras. They're okay, but they could be a little bit better in my opinion. And they rely on the light to be able to track your movements as well. So wherever you're gonna game, make sure that it's well lit. Also, oh goodness, what else was I going to say? Another thing that I would recommend is making sure that you're in somewhat of a big space. Like right back here is perfect for me. This is perfect. We're right behind me where I'm at. This is like my man cave. This is my gaming room. This is my media room. And I just move this on the other side of the curtain, my beanbag chair or my beanbag bullshit. And and I can just comfortably game for the most part, and it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. And Another thing to keep in mind is the audio. Not these ones particularly, but my Sennheiser headset, I'm able to use those instead of the standard audio. However, the audio on the Oculus Rift S is actually kind of usable. Another thing that I wanted to mention, this is actually kind of a big deal. This almost was a make it or break it type situation. I was having issues with getting the Oculus Rift S to be read properly via USB. Now, what was happening was the drivers, for whatever reason, on my motherboard, I guess, aren't getting enough power. It has something to do with power, and it's total bullshit, in my opinion. I think this is a serious, glaring failure on Facebook's part. I know there's a lot of fucking neckbeard douchebags that want to blame my hardware for it, but I just don't find that to be a logical explanation for what is happening. But I did find a workaround. There's two workarounds. One, you're going to have to buy a dedicated USB card that goes into one of the PCI slots. The one that's, the most popular, the one that's popular among people who are having this issue, they get the one from Insignia. So Insignia is one of the Best Buy brands, and then you go ahead and slap it on, and you plug in your Oculus Rift USB 3.0 into the card reader or the USB card slot, and then you're done. However, I did find, interestingly enough, another solution. I have an Amazon, one of those Amazon Prime, what's it called? Powered USB, what's it called? The fucking, I'm going to just throw up an image of it. It's got all the little fucking USB hubs. It's a USB hub. That's what it is. So one of those powered USB hubs. I had that plugged in. I had it powered on, and I plugged my Oculus Rift S into that. And now I have zero issues connecting the Oculus Rift S to the PC. It just works. As soon as I put this thing on, it just works. And as you can see that I've been showing you video footage of the game, it's a lot of fun, man. I've been having so much fun. It's one of those. It kind of reminds me of Steve Jobs giving that keynote for the iPhone. It's like, oh, it's like magic. It just works. And with the Rift S, it really does just work. It is one of the better VR headsets on the market, in my opinion. I've seen tons of videos of all the other ones out there. Everybody who plays it, they just can't. That smile on their face is not fake. It's real. It is that fun. It is a really interesting and new way to play the games. And given how popular and how well received the new Half-Life Alyx is, I think VR is here to stay. I think because of what Half-Life Alyx has done, it's solidified its place in the gaming world, and I do genuinely believe that. I absolutely believe that. And again, this isn't me fanboying. I was never a fanboy. I got really strong opinions. If I think something's a gimmick, or if I lean towards it being a gimmick, it's very likely my opinion isn't going to change. Well, my opinion did change for the Oculus Rift S and for just VR headsets in general. So now I am, not a hater or a skeptic, now more of a lover. And I hope that all these companies that are coming out and making these VR headsets or VR goggles, I hope they succeed. I hope they push the boundaries. I hope they make the bar to the bar to entry a lot lower, so people can enjoy the things that I'm enjoying, because I understand that it's really expensive. And as I'm making this video, there's a coronavirus outbreak, and it's very unfortunate that a lot of people are unable to enjoy this right now, because supply it's really difficult to find them at the moment. And not only that, even prior to this, around November and December of 2019, they were just incredibly difficult to find. And at that time, the only place that was getting hit by the coronavirus or the Chinese virus were the Chinese. However, things are going to go back to normal, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds. Out here in my city, there was a tech conference, and there was a lot of really interesting stuff on display regarding VR. We're seeing goggles, we're seeing new controllers, we're seeing these devices interchangeable. So you don't need just an Oculus Rift S VR headset and have that paired exclusively to this. You can mix and match now. That's going to be a new thing. There's a lot of interesting hardware also associated with movement, and who knows where the technology is going to take us, wherever it's going to be. Let's just hope it's as fascinating and as awesome as a Half-Life Alyx experience. And that's really all I got to say about this. And again, my mind was changed. Will yours be changed? If you recently jumped into VR, what are your opinions on the technology or on the games? Right now, currently, my favorite games is Pavlov. I am looking forward to playing Half-Life Alyx and the Walking Dead. Again, the Walking Dead absolutely fucking killed it. They're doing just amazing things. They're really pushing the boundaries and just really utilizing, the mechanics that are afforded to the VR controllers and the VR headsets, and it's just so amazing. It's so much fun. It's really addicting. VR sickness, you only experience it on a few games. I'm not an expert on VR, so what causes some games to give you VR sickness versus the others, I do not know. I have a feeling that it has something to do with the speed in which you are moving in the game. So when I'm playing Pavlov, I don't get VR sick. But when I am playing the Forest VR, I get really fucking sick. And I'm not a wimpy type guy, but I got really freaking sick, guys. I don't know what it is. Now, and again, I was playing Pavlov again, and I was playing Terrorist and Trader Town or whatever the fuck. And when you die, you can kind of float around the map. If you move around really quickly, you get pretty darn sick. Try to avoid that. So yeah, I want to hear what you guys think. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you ever get a chance to, and things get back to normal, try out a VR headset. I do highly recommend the Oculus Rift S. Peace out.